Welcome back, guys, into a rainy and cold London. The reason we are in London is because the latest patch 1.3 has been released finally, so we're going to have a quick look at that. It is a little bit different. There's a couple of gameplay changes just to make it a little bit easier. There aren't really any new additions or DLC for free or anything like that. I've gone ahead and also repaired my truck while we're at it, so you guys didn't have to see me drive there, etc. It only costs like 18,000 euro. I guess that's only, but that's still a heck of a lot of money. So let's have a quick look at the changes first up. You might have seen quickly just the GPS system. It is a little bit different. It's a lot easier just to get information right off the get-go. You can see when you're going to need sleep by that bed, how much petrol you got, and your damage by that little truck symbol next to the gears and fuel. Apart from that, if we go over into options and gameplay, I'm pretty sure these settings are new. You can change the currency, so you can have Great British Pounds, I guess a Czech dollar, I'm not really sure, Polish zloty, I think that's what they're called in Poland, but I'm not really sure. I'll just stick with euros. What else is new? I think a automatic retarder. I'm not really sure what that does. Automatic motor brake. Rain probability has always been there, so I'm pretty sure those extra things are new, such as the currency. I think they actually talked about some of those things in their blogs. Apart from that, supposedly some roads have been fixed up here and there. I don't think it's anything visible. I think like there's some roads where when you were driving, you'd hit the road really hard and it'd cause a bit of damage even though you were driving within the limits. So that's fixed up, but not much has changed. And I've gone ahead and deleted all the mods that I've had because one of them was causing a crash and I really didn't use that many mods anyway. So in the meantime, what I should have done while we're looking at the market is picked out a job. Let's see. Because we're in London, it'll probably be quite a big job. Let's see what we'll do though. Luxembourg seems good. Rostock even. Have we been to Rostock? I'm not quite sure. It sounds good. Let's go to Rostock. Let's make it nice and quick. Now, where exactly do I need to go? Okay. Onto the left. I think the performance is also a bit better, although maybe that's just me just thinking that. Apart from that, nothing too major. I think the major news is that there will be DLC in all of Houston. I forgot. British drive like normal people. On the left. I'm sure that'll ruffle a few feathers. I don't even know why some countries drive on the left and some on the right. What's the difference? I guess America will drive on the right-hand side, just a bit different from the British. But then again, the roads probably didn't exist in too much of a magnitude back in those days when Britain was still a global power, at least the biggest global power. But we're not going to be talking about, we thought we were talking about politics in this episode. This will be in line with what I was talking a couple of weeks ago about drugs in sport. If you're an Australian or if you follow, I guess, world news, this is pretty big news, at least if you follow sports wherever you are. There's a... we'll get into it later. But where do I need to go over here? That is a good question. Where am I going? Let's go over here. Zoom it right in. Okay, clearly we have gone in the wrong direction. This is just some truck stop or some bar, it seems like. Interesting. There's also Iveco some other truck company, and Renault, who are licensed truck dealers now, so you can drive their trucks. Kind of weird storefronts. I guess it's supposed to be a flower. Like a goddamn slalom course over here. There we go. Now we should be good. The only thing is that I got so used to the petrol indicators, or just the game telling us how much we had by those bars. It's a little bit difficult to gauge how much we've got right now. There we go. This is where we're supposed to be going. Over into some construction site, it seems like. And Rostock or Milan? No. Let's definitely take up this mission. And there she is. Whoa, it seems like it's a big load. which way do I need to go? Okay. I'm just going to turn around and reverse. It shouldn't be too hard at all. But yeah, in Australia, if you follow like world sport, this is pretty big. There was an Australian Crime Commission, which is pretty much, well, it is the biggest authority, I guess, when it comes to crime. They have the most powers. They can force sworn testimony. They can force people to speak, and if they don't, well, then you go to jail. So it's pretty harsh. It's a pretty big thing. It's like a royal commission in Australia, or in Great Britain, if you know what a royal commission is. They're pretty big things, and they don't really happen often, although it wasn't a royal commission, but the Australian Crime Commission has the same type of powers. But as I was talking in an episode last week about just drugs in sport in general, and how there's a heck of a lot of people that go undetected, etc., and how easy it is. It's recently come out, well, that there's been a year-long investigation into sports in Australia, and the two main football codes, which is NRL, which is rugby league, and AFL, which is like a mix between, I guess, rugby union, sort of, and Gaelic football. It's only an Australian sport, really. It's a lot like Gaelic football, which is also a pretty good sport, but we don't really play it too much in Australia. But those codes of sports or football were investigated harshly in just all of sport in general. And it's come out that there were these sports clubs that have been very heavily involved in just any type of sports performance enhancing drugs, which are, well, most of them, well, would have been illegal, I guess. Well, what's happening is that the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Agency is ASADA, which is like WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, which pretty much settle all the guidelines for blood doping and all that stuff. They're pretty much posturing. It's like any government bureaucracy, really, just trying to posture themselves, trying to look as good as they can, and increase their own government funding, really. And what's happening is that the ACC, Australian Crime Commission, has announced that yada yada yada, lots of people have been caught taking drugs, and it's they have evidence of sports clubs having sports doctors that are hiring or that are injecting players with performance-enhancing drugs, etc., which is extremely obvious. But I guess the Australian general public and just people in general don't believe it, and are pretty, as I said, the general public are immensely idiotic when it comes to performance-enhancing drugs. The things that they take, like, it's rugby union and rugby league and that type of stuff, so you've got to be pretty big and muscular, so it's obviously going to be taking like testosterone and human growth hormone, especially if you look at some of the players and their jawlines and just how their bone structure, you know it's not genetics. I'm sure some of them would like to say it's genetics and that they're just genetically blessed, but it's human growth hormones that they're taking. But human growth hormones cost a heck of a lot of money. It's around like $1,000 for a month's supply, which is a fair amount of money, really. And considering you don't really need to cycle growth hormones, you can just take it all year long if you want. They have some pretty good anti-aging properties as well, so there's a lot of anti-aging clinics for old people, like people like beauty clinics, like Botox, etc., and they get involved with human growth hormone and all that stuff, which is legal for like old people with deficiencies, etc., because your body doesn't produce as much. But a lot of these anti-aging clinics, they don't they prescribe the human growth hormone to the wrong type of people, and people that should never really be able to take those drugs, at least according to the law. I mean, I personally believe that everyone should be able to take drugs, because the only person they harm is themselves. No matter what type of drug you take, whether it's caffeine or whether it's or whatever, ecstasy, or whatever illicit drugs other people want to use. But you take too much of anything, it's going to cause you problems. Especially human growth hormone is one of the much safer drugs that you can take. But the major revelation was there was a commission on both performance enhancing drugs, but also match fixing. And I haven't really been following the match fixing that's supposedly been happening in European football and soccer. But what it sounds like is it's extremely bad. Like, it's pretty bad, the extent of the match fixing in football or soccer, which is extremely worrying, because that's not really sport. I guess sport these days is a business, obviously, and all it is about is money. But it's still pretty bad that some people are making like millions and millions of dollars for, I don't know, not playing to the spirit of the game, I guess you could say. Don't you just love going under those bridges though? The rain stops, but just for those couple of seconds. Or under a tunnel. Alright, we seem to be going to the left. To the left, to the left. There we go. Hopefully once we get off the train or the ferry, whichever one we go on, it will stop raining once we get to France. Wherever we're getting off at, I'm not even sure. But the major revelation was that the clubs, they are paying, well, they're paying sports scientists to get involved in the blood doping and the performance enhancing drugs, which to me makes sense, because human growth hormone, especially over the last couple of years, it cost a heck of a lot of money. It used to cost like $20,000 for a month's supply. Now it's down to like $1,000. So it's a bit like computer RAM, really. And it seems like we need to go to sleep because our bed has turned red. Let's check out. Okay, we've got to go to a rest stop in the next couple of minutes. Doesn't seem like we'll be getting. Well, we'll get to the ferry, and that's going to be good enough. But it's these clubs that are getting involved in blood doping themselves. Because that would make sense to me, because I don't think players really have, at least in AFL and NRL and smaller Australian sports, they wouldn't really have a clue of what to take and how much and all that other stuff. So it does make sense that the clubs are pretty much paying people, etc. It's pretty much like NFL. I think nobody is, I guess I'm sure there'd be some nutters that think NFL is a clean sport. NFL doesn't even sign up to WADA regulations, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency, because, well, at the end of the day, it's the consumer that's to blame. Because people want to see faster people, better sports, and you can't really blame people for that. It's just that if people want to see faster runners, etc., then they have to get used to the fact that people are going to take drugs, whether they like it or not. Oh, no, come on. That's not fun. Let's check out. Oh, thankfully 0% damage. And we've got to indicate left, which means that we're going to be exiting. And goddamn Brits putting up speed cameras. Where's the speed camera? There it is. Hard to see with all this rain. I don't even have my music on. Maybe I should turn it on. There's supposedly like some memory overflow when you played the music player, which would cause a bit of problems with the RAM, etc. So they had to fix that up. Seems like they did. And we should be chucking a left right now. This looks different. I don't really remember going to... Well, I do, actually. This is the dodgy place that we go on. We're going to Europort, which is in the Netherlands. Fantastic. So we're not going to France. No, they haven't changed the splash screens, clearly. Okay. Finally, we can turn off all the windscreen wipers. There's still a bit of rain on the windscreen one, but it's gone now. It's evaporated. Well, very nice. Didn't even see this skylight. Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry. Sorry. Didn't have to find me that quickly. Oh, damn, the Dutch are strict. But yeah, that's about it. That's really to say about the Australian Crime Commission, really. It's pretty much this government... Oh, right. Another thing. I'm sure there'll be things that come up in my head as we drive, because we've still got 700 kilometers left. But, as I was saying, there haven't been any, well, clubs that have been announced, or players that have been announced, that have been taking drugs. It's pretty funny how idiotic, I guess, mainstream journalism is. Alright, what was I gonna say? As we just get the $1,000 from Tim. Yes, the agencies or the Crime Commission isn't announcing any names or any clubs or anything of the sort. It's just that, well, what they're hiding behind is the fact that they can't reveal the names or the names of clubs, etc. But they have no problem actually talking about the codes that have been bought, etc. It's just that they're trying to posture themselves, trying to appear like they have everything under control, as my mouse moves about crazily. That they have everything under control, but really they don't. They don't really have as many people as I guess they like to think they do. It's just that they're threatening other sportsmen and women that might have been taking drugs to coming forward and having a bit of a more lenient sentence, or might not even being punished at all. Because a lot of these drugs that people are taking are legal to take in, I guess, if you're a civilian or a private citizen. It's just that you're not allowed to take a lot of these performance-enhancing drugs while you're a sportsman. But it's completely idiotic, because at the end of the day, it's all about money. I'm pretty sure I talked about in my last video about caffeine, etc. Because caffeine's a pretty harsh drug. I mean, the amount of caffeine that you take in a cup of coffee, no matter how strong the coffee is, it's quite minimal, really, compared to taking like straight up caffeine in powder or tablet form. And a lot of these drugs are a lot less harsher than caffeine. It's just that caffeine's pretty much in everything, especially in Coca-Cola, which is a major, or Coke, which is a major sponsor of the Olympics and many other sports. And at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's not about really the integrity of sport, as they like to claim themselves to be, I don't know, like fighters for sporting integrity, which is quite funny. Oh, and I do have the 120 kilometers taken off because I've uninstalled all the mods. So that's why we might be driving a little bit slower than usual. But that'll mean I'll crash less, hopefully. Do I need to go to sleep? I shouldn't. No, that's good. Probably should turn on the music. Let's go turn it on. Here again. Of course, this always takes like a couple of seconds to get into rhythm of the music, doesn't it? I guess it starts very quiet. There we go. That plane went down quite steeply. Yeah, it's only just about money. It's pretty bad and pretty sad how, I guess, even WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, they're talking about, they extended, I'm not sure if you guys are following the Lance Armstrong story, but they gave him 2 more weeks to come forwards and come clean, etc. with all his drug taking, which is just how idiotic WADA, I really don't know. The guy that scammed him and lied to them and I guess each and every American citizen, because he lied under oath in a sworn testimony, which I personally find he should go to jail for, but of course he won't. It's a bit like, I guess Americans do love a good comeback hero. It's a bit like Mike Tyson. He literally raped a person, a woman, and somehow there's still like a almost cult following of him. He's nothing but a scumdog, and you definitely shouldn't be celebrated. But I always forget what I'm gonna say, don't I? Got to concentrate on the road. So here's beautiful Amsterdam, at least what seems like it. It's over to the left as well. Let's have a look. Nothing's really changed. I look forward to how Poland's gonna look. And it's gonna cost, like, the DLC is gonna cost about 1/3 of what the original game cost, so I expect something really good. Maybe even a couple of new trucks. Hopefully comes soon. I think I really need to go to the petrol station. I'll go to it just in case, so I don't have to worry about it later on. Oh, 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 oh. Is the bar going to fill up? No, because we've turned the fire off on the truck. We still have a fair amount of money. €1,000 pretty much. It's a lot of money for a full tank of petrol. There we go. The bar is full now. That's good. That's what we like to see. Don't try to hit my vehicles, thank you. The white car behind us got really close to hitting our trailer. How's our trailer managing? It's still very, very good. No one's hit it yet, even though I thought we might have lost a bit of health to it. God damn. State of the speed limit, damn it. I don't think we're in Germany yet, are we? I think so. Where are we? Oh, we are in Germany. No, we're not. Oh. No, I don't think we are. Wait. What's this country? It's still Deutschland. Okay, we're just still in Deutschland. Too many lines across everywhere and I didn't know where we were. But yeah, the different organizations, etc., just trying to scare people into coming out, and at least what they're being accused of doing now is just accusing and smearing all of Australian sport of being drug cheats, whereas many of the teams and codes in sport in Australia are quite angry at that blanket, I guess, description of all sportsmen and women. But yeah, back to the Lance Armstrong thing, that's what I was talking about. Lance Armstrong thing, WADA was extended his chance of coming clean. 2 weeks extra, I think he was supposed to, they gave him a deadline until February the 7th. And now because Lance Armstrong said he might want to help him out and talk to him, they gave him a 2-week extension, which is just ridiculous. Because if WADA likes to say that they're true to the integrity of sport, then they give people like really weak sentences, like either 6 months if you come clean, or 2 years if you get caught. It's very rarely a lifetime ban. And it's pretty ridiculous because once you take testosterone, your muscles physiology is different, and the androgen receptors in your muscles, they'll always be more accepting of testosterone, which basically means that because every person's body creates their own testosterone. It's just that the people that have taken steroids or testosterone will always have an unfair advantage because their body will always accept it and react to it better because they've already had so much of it before. And they really should be banned for life in sport. Personally, I really disagree with the whole idea and concept of clean sports. And I think at least in my lifetime, I think sports will change drastically because there's no way that clean sport will last. What will happen is there'll be 2 divisions of each sport, and then some will die out, or at least some divisions of sport will die out, as in there'll be a natural competition and then just a everything goes competition, sort of like what bodybuilding is now. You have your natural competitions, which to be honest nobody really cares about. I guess it's more of a stepping stone. Nobody really cares about natural competitions apart from like the people that compete in it. Whereas bodybuilding, like anything goes bodybuilding, there's a fair amount of money in it. I think the winner for last year's Mr. Olympia, which is the biggest competition in bodybuilding, which is like the Super Bowl, I guess you could call it, they get like $1 million, which isn't a huge amount in terms of, I guess, the money involved around the supplement industry. That's mega billions of dollars, the supplement industry. That's some ridiculous amount of money. So even $1 million just to the best bodybuilder in the world isn't really that good. And bodybuilding itself also has a lot of corruption in it, because you have your supplement companies endorsing certain athletes, and then you have the that's a good amount of money, €5,000. But then you have those companies sponsoring the Mr. Olympia and other bodybuilding competitions, and then it just becomes a massive corrupt hogwash, really. Because then the major sponsors, and if they have any athletes, because bodybuilding is a judged sport, it should be objectively judged, but of course there's no such thing as true objective judging, no matter what you try to do about it. Whether it's, I don't know, Olympic diving or gymnastics or whatever. Especially when money becomes involved. It's a fact of life, unfortunately. And then the second part of the report was match fixing, which that to me was quite, well, not scary, but that's the worst part of the report. Is match fixing, that's definitely got nothing to do with sport. It's not about people competing or wanting to be the best, it's just people wanting money for money's sake. Yeah, as I was saying, most sports will probably branch off into 2 different competitions, and then the natural competitions will die out. Nobody will really care about that. I guess it's a bit like, I guess religion, really. It's like Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't believe in, they don't agree with blood transfusions, etc. And ultimately, they'll either all die out or they'll have to conform. Either one. And I think in a lot of countries now, I think there was a case in Australia and Britain as well, where there were a couple of Jehovah's Witness parents, and they had like a 5-year-old child, like a really young child. Quite a sad story, really. And they didn't want their children to get a blood transfusion, and that would mean that their child would die. That's just pretty fucked up, really. There's no other way to describe it. And some people do such things. What the hell? Not sure if you guys saw that, but in our side mirrors, it got dark all of a sudden. There were some clouds. I had no idea why that happened. Because a cloud must have went over the sun, but I don't think this game's that realistic, is it? I think the clouds are just there to pretty the whole landscape up. Oh, better chuck her right. So I think we're still going into Germany. I'm pretty sure we are. Now all I'm trying to do is just build up my trucking business in Berlin. So I'm going to be doing that by buying another truck and of course hiring another driver. But ultimately you don't really hire drivers. It's just that they bring us money. Because they bring us more money than they take, which is good. So that's how you operate a profitable business. Seems like this is my best driving yet as well. Four more hours until we go to sleep. Seems like I have to go to sleep before I'll finish this mission. Unless I really push the time limits. I don't think I will though. So after all, we can't even go faster than 90 kilometers unless we're going down a hill. The truck just won't let us go faster. We'll slow down any minute now. Even though we're going 100 now, we should, like, if I had the mod on, we'd be going at least 130 or so. Whoa, sorry. I should have checked first. Clearly you can tell I'm not a driver, and I deserve that. What? Alright. That 1 percentage point. Damn. Taken off my trailer. That's what I get for what I deserve for not checking either side of my truck before indicating. Then again, when you got cars going as fast as that red one, they deserve to be knocked out. I'm thinking about going to sleep at like 8 PM, which is in about 2 more hours. See if there's any more truck stops. We're going through Bremen now. I guess after Bremen we'll have a better look. The reason I wouldn't do that is I don't like driving through the night. It's not that it scares me, it's just that I like looking at the scenery. It looks so much nicer. Personally, I'd always drive around like this instead of first person mode. I don't know, I guess just doing a let's play just makes me play a little bit differently. I'll make sure I put a link down below to the Australian Crime Commission's report at least. If anyone is interested in it, interested in that type of stuff. They actually did devote like a couple of sections to it, to bodybuilding, etc. And the media coverage of it was just, and it still is. Australia likes to pride itself on its sporting history and how much we love sport, but it's pretty ridiculous really when it comes to it. I think there's much better things to focus on than sport, really. Especially when people are so naive about it. It's pretty sad. And all sport really is, at the end of the day, it's like the Olympics. It's just a big dick measuring contest. There we go, it's gone dark all of a sudden and now it's lighter back again. What else has been happening in the world that I could talk about possibly? Not much really. Just trying to think. I guess that's all they've been talking about in the Australian media, just this drug, well, the drug and match fixing scandals in Australia in sport. There's also been like some, I think, by the Australian Crime Commission as well. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't really been following it too much, but there's a state leader in a, well, a state politician at least. He was part of the Labor government, and he was incredibly corrupt. Like he helped out with mining companies, and he invested in the mining companies, so he'd make a heck of a lot of money, and then he approved their licenses to mine in certain areas. So then he'd obviously, after he'd invested in the company, he'd see a epic profit because they'd be digging up coal or gas or whatever they'd be digging up. And that's been making the news in Australia, at least. What's this truck? It's got some... No, it's not a weird paint job. It's just the sun that's making it look like a paint job. What exactly is the road right next to us? Oh, where are we? Here. Aha, okay, so they're just rest stops. How far away are we? I think I'll have to rest stop over here. We'll see. That's the nearest place where I can take a rest stop in. Anyway. I think we're getting close to about 50,000 kilometers driven in general. Let me check. Driven distance 41,000 kilometers. Nothing to be scoffed at. Even though the kilometers in this game aren't one-to-one ratios. If they were, this would just take way too long. It won't be any fun. Oh. Right, it's always exciting once we get to go down a hill because we'll be going a little bit faster. Check out, ETA is 3 hours 36. I'll need to take a rest stop. We're going to be getting way too tired. Ooh, nice. All our guys are making good money now. I can't complain about how much money we are making. Why does this guy have to be like come up right in front of us? Yeah, there's no new vehicles, no new buses or anything of the sort. What came in the previous patch. Okay, I better pay attention right now. Because that intersection. Oh well, we're gonna merge into another road. I think all we've got to do really is just keep driving forward though, and we'll be good. I'll have to slow down though. Slowing everyone down behind us. Not my problem though. Alright, so it's just become 8 o'clock. Driver John has given us pretty much no money. Oh wow, what? Truck's also been damaged? Don't remember that. Okay, so now we're going past Hamburg. I wonder if Hamburg's got anything to do with the name hamburger. Wouldn't be surprised if they invented the hamburger, created the bread and put a bunch of bit of meat, a bit of salad in it. Why are we lagging up? Why are we lagging up? There we go. Overall, the patch, I don't know, it wasn't really big. I think it was only like 100 megabytes or so, so I think they changed up a couple of roads, and I think the GPS is the biggest change, for me at least. It's also quite handy. I'm not going to be complaining about it too much. Yes, yes, don't worry. We are about to go to sleep. I think we'll get there by like 9 PM. Let's see if we can see the rest up on the map. We can. It's quite close, really. We might even be able to see Rostock any minute now. Thank you. Gonna give him a bit of a salute for moving out of the way. Very nice of him. Now I know it's gonna be nighttime, but it looks like it might even rain. It's gone all hazy all of a sudden. At least in the distance. I think it's part of nighttime though. Okay, should I go to sleep? That is the question. I think I should. I think I should. So let's go do it. We'll be just within over 100 kilometers to the distance, to the target. Going to sleep is always the hardest part. Trying to find a good spot. I think this should be good. That's if the game recognizes the spot. Nope. No, they literally want me to hit into him. Well, I'm sorry, folks. That was a bit of a problem. Anyway, I think we'll have to go keep driving ourselves. What's an hour going to do anyway? We should manage. I'm pretty sure there's no more rest stops along the way either. Anyway, we can see Rostock now. Well and surely. And well, we haven't really been driving that much in the nights. Are we going to be able to move? Yes. And what do you know? It's raining again. We started the episode off raining. And I think we're going to finish it off raining. It also rains a heck of a lot in Omerta. Which, if you're not watching it, you should be. I think it's a good game. At least it's a much more of a strategy game than... And I do love my strategy games. I do love the simulations as well. They're pretty much my favorite type of computer games, at least. And then again, I'd really play anything. Nothing really bothers me what I play. Apart from MMOs, I'm not a massive fan of multiplayer gaming myself. I'd rather enjoy watching a story. Or playing as part of the story, at least creating it. But now I'm sounding like Peter Molyneux, aren't I? Talking about your connection with dogs in Fable. And how you're supposed to cry when it dies, and ultimately, you couldn't care less. Because it's just a damned dog in a game. Especially the dogs in Fable 2 and 3. They were never really that good. It is a shame what happened to Fable, though. It was a brilliant game on... well, the first Fable, though. That was a good game. Good memories of it. Well, we're about 50 kilometers away. Means any moment now we should see the city of Rostock. I know, I know. I need to find a place to rest. Give it a break. Okay, so we'll be able to get off on an off-ramp very shortly, but we won't be taking it. I think we're going into like the central road in Rostock. What would be nice maybe is like a little encyclopedia that you could learn stuff about all the different cities that you visit. Like you got encyclopedia entries once you've gone to a city. So you could like read about it, or you know, maybe there'd be like special music that plays once you've discovered it. Something of that sort. Okay, but let us start going right. So after all, we are taking a right. Oh, here we go. Thankfully, I did not get caught by the speed cameras. It seemed like they were there. And it's storming as well. Ralph. Isn't he the new... He must be the newest guy, because I don't remember Ralph at all. I remember all the other names, but definitely not Ralph. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be stuck in traffic with this guy. I just hate being stuck in traffic with actual trucks in real life. It's never safe. I think I've been watching too many live leak videos, really. Especially in Russia. There's one video, like, there's no gore in it or anything, but there's a truck driving, or I think it was a van or something, out in the country road, and there's like just a family sedan driving behind it, and it picks up like, must have been some metal sheet or something, or a brick. I think it was a brick. And the brick literally flew through the air, and I think it killed the person next to the passenger. And that was the worst video I've ever seen. Like, I've seen some pretty fucked up shit on like a live leak and just beheadings and all that stuff, but there's no gore in it, but just the screams from people or from the family, like seeing your loved one like getting a brick to the face like at a fast speed. That was just horrendous. There's no way I'm gonna link that to anyone, but I'm sure if some of you guys do follow live leak, I do like my daily live leak viewing. It is quite funny, although most of it is like oh really, avoid sleeping off the fence. But most of live leak videos at the moment, at least in the Arabian revolutions, like in Syria, etc., and people killing other people, getting shot in the head. Pretty legit, really. But we finally made it to Rostock. Let's see what our score is going to be. It should be fairly good. Although, then again, yeah, I think we'll need like 2 more big trips to unlock a level 23. So until next time, hopefully you've enjoyed our trip from London to Rostock. Took a grand total of 18 hours, 841 kilometers. Till next time, I'll see you all later.